All right, all right. So, so we're going to work on the same design that we worked on the night before. Help you get that
Yes.
situated. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you show your screen. Okay. And I'm going to let you go through the steps of doing it on your end, hopefully, so that the repetitiveness of doing it on your own will help you to understand where the tools are, how you use them, so that when you have to do this again, it'll come more familiar to you rather than me doing it on my end and you trying to take notes. Okay.
Yes.
And we can take this as slow as you need to, Jessica. Like I said, this is your time. And my goal here is to help you figure this out. So,
Okay. And I got my little notes here from when I was taking notes from everybody that was sharing.
all right. That is always helpful.
Because I have my sizes here that I need for the youth.
Yes. Wasn't that very helpful of Stephanie to share that information with us?
Oh, it was actually great.
Yeah, when she wrote, I wrote it down too. I'm like, I'm not doing cheer stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and write this stuff down because if I ever decide to explore that here in North Carolina, that way I'll already have a leg up as to, or if I want to create some stuff to have as a to show, right? I can
Uh-huh.
already show one done and have the right sizes and so forth and so on. So that's why I keep saying, coffee hour and wind down time are like so beneficial because you just never know what kind of information you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I'm ready.
So I'm already one step ahead of you. I already traced the image. I already
Okay.
have it doubled,
Yep.
duplicated. The original is down below all that, so I won't be
Okay.
picking up that.
All right.
Um, let's see. There was something else I was going to say, and now I can't remember. All righty. So we're just going to start here and do this. 7 is.
Now, I'm going to say to you, one of the things that you can do, because remember, we've talked about when your image is in that format, right? So, and you just turn on the rhinestone effect so that you can see what the graphic is going to look like as if it were in rhinestones, right? You can do that and you can then make all of your measurements, size it, do all of those things while you see it with the rhinestone effect turned on so that you get a visual of where those stones are or potentially where those stones will be, and you can size and move and do all of those things, and that way because if you, like I say, we could size it now, like we could go and we could size it to our 7 inches and 3.5 or whatever the height is that you want to make it, right? We could do that now. Or you could go ahead and you could leave it the way that it was. And before we release the rhinestones, we can then size it. Okay, so we can see how those rhinestones will shift and change based on whether or not you left it tall or you did. Because if we do it like this and then you start placing the stones, then if we decide that we don't like it at that, we'd have to redo it. So rather than have to do that, as long as we leave it in the effect only mode, you can make
Okay.
all kinds of changes to it and sizing to it that doesn't affect anything until we actually release the stones.
Then I'm going to reverse this and go back. There we go.
Okay.
So
All right.
you want me to start working on the next step? I mean, I'm still trying to remember everything of what we went over.
Well, then
That
that's a good thing because you don't have to remember at this point. We can talk about it fresh.
okay.
And then maybe once I say it, it'll click because you'll have remembered it from the last time. But this way you don't have to force yourself to try to remember now. What did she say from 3 nights ago or whatever? Like we can just go through it. So you have your graphic traced, right? And right now the graphic is in a compound path, right? Because the system is seeing it all as one design. Okay.
Yes.
Excuse me. In order for us to start working with it, to convert it into rhinestones, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to release the compound path, okay, so that we can work with each of the letters individually. Okay, so right now, as you can see, once you release the compound path, you know the compound path has been released because now a box shows up around each individual letter, right? So that means that we can click on one of those letters and we can work on it individually. Okay, so every time I always say, make sure after you've selected something, go ahead and just click anywhere on the mat with your mouse to deselect. That way you don't accidentally move something out of space, out of shape, or what have you. You just go ahead, click anywhere on the mat, and that will deselect what you currently have selected. So now we have our eclipse, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, what I like to do is I just want to see what it's going to look like if I turn on the radio, or when I turn on the rhinestone effect, right? I just want to see if it's something that I'm going to be able to work with. So if we draw a box around everything, let's just draw a box around everything. And let's go to the rhinestone panel. Okay, now let's just look at it and let's just turn on. So we remember when we're in the rhinestone effect, the very first icon is just an open circle, and that just means, I say it means none, like there is no effect turned on, right? The one next to it is the edge fill. Okay, it usually is the one that's going to put the stones on the edge of your graphic, or or a single line of kind of stones, depending on how that graphic is, how much space is in that graphic. The one next to it is called the linear fill, right? And the linear fill is the fill pattern that looks just like the icon. It's going to put all of your stones in a line horizontally and vertically. Okay. And then the one on the end is the radial fill. The radial fill is very similar to your edge fill, as you can see, because it is also circular shaped. But what it tries to do is it fills in the spacing from the inside out. Okay, so whereas the edge fill will give you just the stones on the edge of the lines, the radial fill is going to try to fill in the interior parts of the graphic and the edge. Okay, so I just like to go through each of them and I like to see what they look like, right? So let's just start with the edge fill. So let's click on the edge. Okay, so right now I'm showing, this is the edge fill. Okay, we're on the rhinestone size is telling us that we are currently on 10 SS rhinestones. Okay, down below that is the spacing. Okay, that default spacing is set to 0.039. That is the default space between your holes. Okay, and what I like to do is I like to change that spacing to 0.020. I have found that to be the nice sweet spot for when you're cutting your template so that the holes are not too far apart. Okay. And they're still dense enough to give you that, close up look when you're looking at the design. You can go smaller. Okay. If you're confident that your cutting machine will cut that more narrowed space. Okay. But to begin with, like I said, I like to start with the 020. And then once I've determined if my cutting machine does really good with that, if I think I can go down a little bit. And all that does is really just get your stones just a little bit closer together, right? Just gives you that little more dense look. But of course, it also means that you wind up using more rhinestones. So sometimes we have to keep that in mind, right? Sometimes if we're on a budget or your customer is on a budget and they don't want 3,000 or 4,000 rhinestones because it's going to cost them more because it costs you more, then you can play around with the spacing so that it will reduce the number of stones in the entire design. Okay. But there we are at 0.020. So right now, I'm looking at that and I'm going, where we are right now at this 8.5 inches, that's, doesn't look all that great. So let me see what happens when we look at it in the linear fill. So let's just click linear fill. Okay, so now as I look at it in the linear fill, I'm saying, okay, well, this looks more like what I would want my design to look like, right? I've got my straight lines. It's gonna need some cleanup, okay, but the amount of cleanup is a whole lot less than what it would have been or could be if we would have chosen the edge fill, right? And so just for argument's sake, we'll go ahead and we'll look at what the radial fill looks like. But we know already it should look very similar to what the edge looked like because again, it's pretty much the same fill pattern, except that this time it's going to try to fill in spaces where it can. Okay, so we click on it. Okay, so see, it's trying to put 2 rows of stones in that outline, and it just doesn't look all that great. So if I were going to make a choice, my choice would be to use the linear fill pattern. Okay, and then I'm going to then make my edits once I release those rhinestones. Okay, so now that we know what it looks like, now the goal would be is to size it to the size that we need it to be.
Okay. So we said we were doing 7 inches.
So when you're in your width and your height, you want to go ahead and you want to type in your width. So you want to put in your 7.00. And then I think you want to hit enter. And go ahead and put in, don't worry about it, go ahead and put in your height. 3.5 and hit enter. Let's see what happens. Now, what is that? Okay. I think what's going on, we have you said you had a lot of stuff open, like a lot of windows on your
Uh,
computer?
the only one I have open is Silhouette and
Just,
Zoom.
what about, there's nothing in the browser, like on the internet? Like, do you have a bunch of windows open there?
Oh,
No?
I forgot. I have, there we go. I closed that.
Okay. So what I'm seeing is a lot what happens with Silhouette, Silhouette is a resource hog. That's what I like to call it, right? The program requires a lot of memory and RAM from the computer in order to do the functions of creating the rhinestones. And sometimes when your resources are low, it will start doing some funkiness like this, like it will just put all kinds of either craziness on the screen or it just won't act right or what have you. So I'm wondering if possibly I know you have it on your computer and it is working, but whether or not your computer actually has the right amount of RAM and memories and stuff to actually run the business edition of Silhouette.
Mhm.
So do me a favor. Let's go ahead and just do an undo. And then we may have to, and then do it again. Okay. So, and just for argument's sake, let's go ahead and turn the radial. Let's go ahead and turn off the linear fill pattern. Let's just go ahead and make it none. Okay. And let's just go ahead and size it to the size that you want it to be. Well, let's go, before we do that, let's go ahead and let's just, it shouldn't matter. let's try it this way. Just go ahead and size it to the dimensions that you want. No, you hit enter, right? After you put in your 7. Oh,
Yeah,
well, first
yes.
of all, go ahead and unlock your lock right the moment, and then go back, because when you put in, it didn't take it. So let's try it again. And
Lock. Server.
doesn't like to see something it doesn't like. It does not like something, because it should not do that. But that is yeah, it I don't know what is going on.
I don't know. It was doing fine the
Doing
other
fine
day.
before? Okay, let's go ahead and just undo again. And instead of doing it from there, let's just go ahead and use your scale tool, and let's just scale it down to size. So grabbing it from the corner, let's go ahead and scale it down to 7 inches. Just keep, okay, so there you're about 7. Okay. And then if you want to make it 3.5 inches, then in the middle of the graphic, not there, because that's going to stretch it. If you stretch it from there, that's going to stretch it horizontally, but we want to stretch it vertically. So let's go ahead and move that up to, and then what, to 3.5, if that's what you want.
See, I think it looks too stretched at.
And you're exactly right, because it's already it's very narrow to begin with. And so let's just bring it back down. Um, you can do an undo. And I'm thinking for where you are now. So right now you're at 1.5 almost, right? 1.429 inches in height. I'm thinking if you go to maybe about 2 inches, that's going to probably still look pretty decent. Even 2 is starting to get a little bit big, but then I mean 1.9, that wasn't too bad. Um,
I think right about there looks about right.
so you think about 1.8.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So so if you're happy with that, okay, if you're happy with that, and I think that looks good. I mean, I think I look at it and I think it still looks like their logo, right? Without it looking, you know, so much different than what it's supposed to. So I think you're okay with that. So now let's go ahead and highlight all of it.
And I gotta
And
move.
let's go ahead and turn on our rhinestone effect. Okay.
I don't know. It
So
looked better before.
at that, well, it did look better before, right? But what we would have to do at this point is we're going to have to make some sacrifices. We're going to have to either scale it up just a little bit more or scale it down until those stones fill into the spacing that we want them to. The other thing we could try is, I know for the rhinestones that I use, if I change my spacing from 10SS, and where you see where it says size and you see the number 10, sometimes if I
Uh-huh.
change the number to 9, okay, 9 makes the hole just a little bit smaller, okay, but the stones still tend to brush in okay. Okay, so let's just see if we change that size and just go into that box where it says 10 and type in 9. Sometimes the arrow will take it down. Mine does sometimes. Okay, so see how 9 kind of, it gave the stones a little bit more space to fill in. Okay.
Okay.
So the cleanup would be just a little bit less. So 9, I think, is a safe number that you could use for this particular design to start your editing.
Okay.
And see, we're still at our 7 inches, which is where we want to be, and our height didn't change very much. So, um,
Should I lock that in with our
uh,
height?
you can, yes.
Okay.
All right. So now we're all locked in. Now with the P, right? You see how the P has the extra stones that are inside I don't think you need that for your design. So we could actually deselect so that you're not everything is not selected. And then just let's go to the P and that interior space. I think you can delete it. Oh, click it again. Now click that one and then turn that one just to the edge fill. There we go.
That looks pretty good.
Okay. So, uh, so now we know we're at our 7 inches. We know we're at the right height. So we can go ahead and we can start making our edits by releasing the rhinestones and then manually placing those stones where we need them to go. So if you want to do it all together, you can select all of it and release the rhinestones, or we can do them individually so that we don't accidentally click on something in the process of making the manual edits and
What do
click
you
something that we
suggest?
don't want to. So it's up to you.
Uh, let's play it safe.
Safe is always good. Safe is always good. All right. So, so we're gonna release the rhinestones. Okay.
Okay.
So now if you remember from Thursday night, this one is fairly simple, right? Like what we're gonna do, we're gonna line up we're gonna deselect. So that we're not nothing is selected. Okay. And what we want to do is we want to line up those stones on the edge of the E on the back end, right? So we're going to grab and drag and grab all of those stones. Okay, making sure that we don't grab any of the other ones. And if you do happen to grab one, all you have to do is hold your shift key and then click on the one that you didn't want. But it looks like from what I can see here, you have just that row selected. Okay, so we're going to open up the transform panel. Okay, and we're going to align those. We're going to center all of those so that they line up underneath each other. So the one in the center, right? We're going to center, there we go. And then I want you to just kind of arrow over just a little bit with your arrow keys on your keyboard. We're just going to we're going to put some space
To
in
the left,
between. Yes, to the
or
left. Right. Keep going until we get about the same amount of space between the other ones, like the other ones. And I think that looks good. Can you do me a favor? Can you zoom in just a little bit? Hopefully zooming in will help you as well, but it definitely will help me a little so that I can see better. Okay. All right. So now we have those stones all lined up, right? Now, if you notice, now that because we have all of those stones selected, at the bottom, you have your distribute, right? And your distribute will allow you to distribute your stones horizontally or vertically, okay?
okay.
Or and so right now they should already be spaced evenly, but you can click it just to be certain. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab the top row of the E. So we're going to grab those top stones in the E, just like we
Those
did.
those
That top,
actually look pretty good.
yes. And we're just going to go ahead and equally space those horizontally just to make sure they're equally spaced. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom of the E.
Nope.
Yeah. And And we equally spaced, and you saw how there was a little bit extra space and they moved into place. So now those are all nice and lined up, nice and straight. So now we're going to do the same thing with the inside part of the E.
I think I grabbed them all. And
So we're going to center, or you can use that one. You can use the center, or you can use the align to the left. So under your horizontal alignment, you can align to the left, you can center, or you can align to the right. Okay. So that's two ways for you to line up your stones. And then you can double check by equally spacing. That's good. Okay. So now we're going to do that on the top. Now grab from the other end. Well, you got it. Okay. Because sometimes when there's not enough space, what'll happen is you'll click with the mouse and it'll try to grab the one next to it, but you actually were able to do that. Okay. So you can go ahead and
I could use either one, right? Center or
right, but there's no need for the vertical alignment. I think everything is in alignment. They look to be aligned. If you wanted to just do it, you could, but you could align to the top is what I would do, is align to the top and then horizontally make sure that the spacing was equal between each of the stones. So now we can do the middle row, and this middle row is not quite like it's off a little bit to me, right? Based on the number of stones that we have. You see how it's kind of like not in the middle. You can now I don't know if that's just the way that it is in the graphic itself. Let's look at the one below it just to kind of see how that E is shaped up. No. Go to the bottom, the one that you traced. I just want to look at the trace and just see if that E actually shows up. No, you could just oh, I see why. It's because there's two lines. There's two lines in the E. Now, what did it look like on the uniform? Did the uniform have two, or does the uniform just have one?
the what a second. Let me
Or her jacket,
pretty sure
her
it's
hoodie?
two. Mom's working. Yes, it has the two.
It does have two. Okay, so it's a good thing we checked, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to probably go ahead and add a row so that we can make it look like the design. So for now, all we have to do is if you copy those three stones in the middle, so we're going to highlight them and drag a box and try to grab all three of them. And then you can right click with your mouse and hit duplicate. And then just position them above on that, above the three that you just, move them up and move them up and so that there's enough space. Well, we're gonna line them up with the one. I think what I really want to do, to be honest with you, is go ahead and just move that up just a little bit, but out of the way, okay, and leave it there because we're gonna come back to it, okay? And I want to take a stone out of that back row of that E. So let's go to that back row of the inner E. I just want to see what happens. And let's just remove a stone. Just slide it out of the way for right the moment. Okay, now let's go ahead and equal space that back row. No. Try to go above it. There's more space above than you have on the side and see if you can grab it. There you go. And let's equal space that for a minute. Okay. Let's see now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess it really needs the 8 to make it Mm. Actually, let's just go ahead. You can go ahead and grab those 3 stones that we copy pasted, and we're gonna just line them up in in between the center of the 2 above. So like just bring it down, and then just with those 2 stones right there, just kind of line them up, line it up in the center of those 2 stones. So bring it down and maybe bring it up so that you have enough spacing right there. Yeah, that looks about right. And it's a little off, but that's okay because we can go ahead and we can line them up. What we're gonna do is,
Yeah, on here, they actually have it, they skipped okay. So on
actually,
here, they had this one here.
uh-huh, like right above a little bit, so there's a little bit more space in between.
Yes,
Okay,
they did um one skipped this one, then had
and
it
then put
right
it there,
here, then skipped one
and then
and
had it
had
on
it
the next row.
here.
Okay, so let's go ahead and
There
do that.
was there was after this line right here, there was 1, 2 spaces in between from this one. From this one.
So how many stones did they have on the inside, that back row on the E? Is it 8?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes.
So they did have 8. Okay, so then that tells us then we can put we should put the other stone back. So let's just, the easier thing would probably be just to go ahead and do an undo. So let's just go ahead and undo until we remove that stone that I said to take out. And then undo. Okay, so they had one there, kind of like where it's lined up almost at right now, right? And then one more below it. Or you said they had 2, right?
They had that one which was skipped,
Mm-hmm.
and they have this row,
Okay.
and they have another skip, which is that one.
Mm-hmm.
They had this row, and then they had 2 below it.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and move those stones in a little bit, just because they're just kind of we can bring them in a little bit. Now, what you can do, and this is what I would do, is I would just take that, I would click on that where your cursor is right now, that stone right below it, right next to it. Okay, no, 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 just click on the stone. And what I would do is I would just kind of inch it over to the left a little bit with your arrow key. So click it and then just use your arrow key and just inch it over a little bit. Okay, till it kind of looks like it's in line with the other one. Maybe another bring it over a little bit more. Okay. And then what I would do is I would just I would grab that row coming from the opposite end. So come from the left, come all the way over to the left, keep coming on the back side of the E.
Oh, this way?
Yep. And you don't have to be right on it. Just bring your cursor bring your cursor out a little further so that when you click, you won't touch it. There you go. And right, drag that out and equal space it. Okay. So then we'll do the same thing with the other row. We got to arrow over first. We got to move that stone, right? That looks to be about right. I think, yeah. And then let's equal space it.
Okay.
All right. So now the E is done. Now
Are
what
we
I
gonna
would
do
do,
this row too or
oh,
not?
yeah, go ahead and bring that, do the same thing, bring that stone over. And equal space. Perfect. Now, what I would do is because we already know we have another E on the every end of this design, right? Like I don't want to have to go through this again. So I would just go ahead and group all of that together. So let's drag a box around everything and group it together. Okay. Okay. And then when we get ready to go do the other E, we'll just copy and paste it onto the other side. Okay. So before we do the C, right, I like to do the easiest ones first and then come back and do my hard ones, right? Because they're going to
Yeah.
require more time. So let's go ahead and start with this L, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to release the rhinestones. Or did we already release? Did we do them? I think we took the safer route and we said we were going to do each one individually. So I think that one
Yes.
is still, so when you do that, I think because we haven't released them yet, you can probably just click on it and that whole thing would, a box would show up around all of it. Let's just double check and make sure. So if you just deselect real quick and let's just click anywhere on the L. Up, okay, so it is because we released the compound path, so both things are, so go ahead, you were right. Let's go ahead and drag a box around all of it. And then we're gonna release the rhinestones. Either or, remember we could do the we could do a left align or we could do the center, but you chose
I
which is
try
fine.
to, because I've been trying this, and sometimes all of a sudden my rhinestones go this way. So I'm like,
Ah,
okay, I'm gonna play it safe, stick with the center.
center is good, like I said, so that was fine. So I would probably, let me just see, I'm looking at it. I might just move it a little to the left just to give that bottom row of stone a little extra space because I'm just trying to avoid what may have happened to you the last time as far as when you cut in the your flock tour. So we want to make sure we put an adequate amount of space. I think that's good. That's good. And
I
we're
already
probably gonna,
distributed,
uh-huh.
already spaced it. So
Okay.
that's it for
Uh,
that one, right?
yep. And then I think this one has a full row of stone at the bottom, right? Like I think it just didn't give us all of the stones when we did the right, the L probably needs to come all the way out to the end. So we probably need to add two more stones or three more stones. Now what I would do sometimes with like for me, well, we've already grouped it, so I might not do that, is I'm trying to think, is it two stones or six stones? What does your shirt look like? How many stones do they have in the bottom row of the L?
2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
Seven. Okay, so that tells us we need to add four stones. I don't know about four stones. Um, that would be a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what size that they use.
And it's probably because it's a larger because it's on the front of a what looks like a what size shirt is that or what size sweatshirt?
This is a small,
Is it a small? Okay. Mm.
but I was trying to see what size rhinestones. I'm pretty sure these are 10s.
I mean, if they look sufficient, if they look substantial, I mean, at six, you can definitely tell the difference between a six and a 10, because the sixes are tiny. Um, so if it doesn't look tiny, tiny, it's probably a 10.
I mean, It looks the same size as the ones that I have, which are 10S's. So
Tens. Okay. So that one has seven. I think we'll be safe with six. So let's just go ahead and copy the those three stones that are right there in that interior part of the L, right? Like it's just and copy the three stones from the right. Go from the right to the left. It's going to be the easiest for you to pick up those three stones. And let's go ahead and duplicate them. And just bring them down to that bottom row. Let's see. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you take that last stone on the end, okay, and use your arrow keys to arrow it over. Try to line it up underneath the one above it. And don't worry about whether or not they overlap. Just go ahead and bring that stone in. Okay, that looks good. And then we're going to go ahead and equal space that row. And then not only are we going to equal space it, we're also going to align it to the bottom. So in your vertical alignment, go ahead and use the bottom one. There we go. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do the interior part. You know, it's kind of tight.
nope, I hit the wrong one, right?
That is right. Well, that's the horizontal, but just go ahead and hit the vertical one. I mean, they probably didn't need any equal spacing, but that's so if they don't move, it's because they're already equally spaced. Now, the thing that I'm looking at is that spacing in the bottom row looks a little tight, right? Just based on when we added those extra three stones. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you to take that stone on the end of the row to the right.
That's actually the right amount of stones.
Yeah, but the spacing is too tight.
So what
So
if
we
I
need to,
grab all four of those and line those up? I meant the four with the one on the bigger side. This, if I take this and I align it.
right, but I'm worried right now. I'm looking at the bottom row of the L and I'm looking at that saying that spacing looks a little tight to me.
Okay,
So what
so
I want to do is kind of bring that last stone out a little bit. So let's just bring that one back over to the right a little bit, maybe about two or three times.
sorry.
And then let's equal space again. Just trying to create a little bit more spacing in between those stones. That looks better. Okay. So now we're going to bring, let's see, we're going to bring that one over to line it up because I think all of our stones pretty much they all line up on the end. So let's bring that one over a little bit to the right.
Oh, to the right.
Yeah, because we're going to line it up with the one below it. And that looks pretty, like I said, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to equal space, but we're going to equal space those four stones, right? All right. Okay. Now the I, right? Now the only thing that looks like funky with me with the I is that it's not as tall, right? The length of it is not the same as the other letters. You see how it's a little bit off at the bottom?
Uh-huh. I think
If
the
you click,
L looks like that too, a little bit at the top. If you look at it, it's like at an angle.
Right, but isn't it supposed to be is it supposed to be like that, or does it line up at the top?
No, they line up, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, they line up together.
Okay, so in that regard, all we have to do is just grab those stones, um, grab.
It-
No, what I would do is grab that row from the top, go to the top and come down to the bottom, right? And then just inch up a little bit. So move it up. Okay. Yeah. And then we can go ahead and grab that bottom row of stone and then go ahead and align those to the top so that they move up to the top of where right, there you go.
Okay.
Okay. So now this eye, um, if you, I think what's going to happen if you try to elongate it, it's going to be too tall. It's going to be too tall for one, um, because we're working with the 10 size stone. So it'd have to add an extra row of stones in there. So to me, what I would do is I would just kind of eye it. Like I would probably bring it down a little so that it's either aligned to the top, it's either aligned to the top, I mean, aligned to the bottom so that it lines up with everything else, or it's going to be kind of like a little smidgen from the top and a little smidgen from the bottom so that it doesn't look like it's, you really can't tell.
All right, let's see how many stones I use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stones.
Yeah.
8, 9, 12. We got 12 stones, so we can add another one.
But if you add another one, it's either going to be too tall or too long. Like go ahead and click on it. Highlight both of them so that drag the box around all of it so that when you add, you'll add together. Right. Now, if you just go to the bottom in the middle and you
Uh,
just kind of nudge it, just bring it down just a little bit. Okay,
okay.
maybe. So it didn't actually add a stone, but it did space it out such that it made it fit. And like I said, we don't know exactly what size they used on that shirt. So we can't necessarily go stone for stone, right? Because if theirs was just slightly bigger, they would have room for another stone. But I think we're good here. That actually gave us what we needed. So we're done with the eye. So I leave that one alone. So what do you have now? Is the P?
I have the P.
Okay.
So we're going to go here.
And I think we have to release the rhinestones first. Oh, we actually grabbed one that, so let's do an undo. And you see how
Oh, I
right there at
see
the
it. Yep.
top. So holding your shift key, you could have, while it was selected, you could hold your shift key and then you could just deselect the one that you didn't want. That'd be another way that you could remove that stone that you had selected, but this is fine too. You just start all over and grab them again.
Okay. Nope.
Okay, so holding your shift key, go ahead and unclick that one at the top next, um, one more up, right there. Just deselect that one. As long as you see, so now you still have the other one selected. So now you can go ahead and line them up. Okay. Now
Are we gonna move this one that's here, right here? Should we
we're
put
gonna
it
be we're gonna
here?
probably move a bunch of stones out of there. But right now, I'm trying to that P is like I said, kind of like the L was, like it was, it's not quite positioned. It's too high. It's too tall at the top and not enough space at the bottom. So let's just go ahead and select all of it and just bring it down a little bit. Scooch it down. I think one more maybe. I don't know. Let me see. I think that's okay. All right. So in my opinion, right now, I probably should have did this first. The interior part of the D is large, right? And I'm thinking maybe if we had reduced it just a little bit, I think that's what we did the last time. So let's just go back. I know you said Tanya already did this, but let's just go back and do an undo until to the point where we release the stones.
One more or?
Mm-hmm. Keep going. Keep going. Go back and undo again. And then undo, undo, undo one more time. Okay, right there. So now you see the interior box, right?
Yes.
The interior part. Let's just go ahead and deselect and let's click on that interior one. And let's see if we scale it in from the corner. Let's see if we can make it a little bit smaller.
Um, how do we, oh, from the corner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's just kind of move it, kind of put it back in the center. Okay. Okay.
Now we're gonna do what we,
So now we're gonna, right. So now let's go ahead and do our releasing of the rhinestones. All right, so let's start with our, well, before, I was gonna say, let's go ahead and move it into place while you still had it all selected, but it's okay. We can go back and do it later. Well, you can do it now. You can drag a box around all of it and just bring it down a little bit. And one of those stones didn't get selected right there in the P. You can see because there's not a box around it. If you're holding your shift key right
yeah,
there in the curve of the P on the right, or just do it again. You don't, they're all not selected. You see it in the curve?
yeah, I'm going back.
Oh, you're gonna do your undo? Okay, just go ahead and do undo. And let's try it again. Okay, I think you got them now. So let's go ahead and just bring it down a little bit. That looks,
That looks
that
like it's that.
looks, I think maybe one more. I don't know, my eyes are itchy. Okay, I think that's good.
Yes.
Okay. One of the things we can do, like I said, you remember when we're all said and done, we can group all the letters individually and then we can align everything to the bottom. But right now I'm just trying to visually eye it as we go. So let's go ahead and line those up. Now this time when you do it, rather than to do I know you said you did it the last time, but when you go to your transform panel, let's just go ahead and align those to the left. Because one of the things I noticed that's happening is when we align to the center, it also is shifting the stones over a little bit. And I want to try to keep that spacing that currently is in there. So let's just go ahead and align to the left. Go ahead and do undo. You have to do undo. Okay. And remember when the top and the P, you have that one selected. So hold your shift key and unselect the one that we don't need at the top. Okay. So now you can, undo. Just go ahead and do your undo and undo again. Okay. Now let's go ahead and align it to the left. There we go. All right. So we got that one done. Let's go ahead and do the bottom row. That's the simplest right now. And we're going to align those to the left. Okay. So now what I would do is that one circle that is inside, right? That's kind of tucked in there. Like I'd go ahead and delete that one. We don't need it. Okay. And we're going to see if we can space out those in the curve. So now right now, what we can do to kind of help us keep the curve, we can take the one that you currently have that's below. Oh, wait a minute. We didn't size that one, did we? We didn't make that one the same size as the one we were working on. So, I mean, we can try to go ahead. We know it's 7 inches. We know it's what was you say the other one? The other one was 7.006 or 003 or something like that, right?
I think we did 7 inches by
1.7 something inches of
yeah.
some sort, right? Well, let's go ahead because what I was going to say we can do is just we could give that a color for the moment, right? We could turn it a color just so that we can see it a little bit better against the back of the stone. And then we can use that as kind of like a little template guide to kind of help us to keep the curve of the P while we manually move those stones. So give it a nice bright color.
Oh, I did the okay.
Well, that's going to be hard to see against the red outline.
Okay.
So something light like a yellow or, yeah, that way you can see the red outline of the your stone. So it's not gonna, we don't want to use that because that's not the same size as our design. So we need to make sure we scale that one to the same size as what we're working with. So let's go ahead and just scale that one down. And you can just use your arrow keys in the corner. You should be able to get it we know we were at about 7. So once we get down to close to the 7, we should be able to line it up and then use the scale to either drag it in or out. So we know we were about 7. somewhere. I think it was a little smaller than that. Yeah. Oh, go back. Okay, right about there. So now you can go up and bring it back in with the other one, right? So now just kind of drag it into place. And even that's kind of right. And then we had it scaled not from there, because that's if you drag from the corners always do height and width at the same time. So we
Okay.
want to bring it down from the middle to make it longer, or to make it taller, I should say. Right, like that. There we go. So now let's just kind of line it up a little bit, drag it in. Hmm. But click it and stay on it. Just click and drag. So click the yellow and then drag with your mouse. There you go. Now just and scoot it over a little bit there we go. And bring it down just a little bit. There we go. That's good enough. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to kind of get on that curve and let that curve help guide us with our stone placement. Okay. So now now that's probably in the front. Like I think, let me see. But okay, so you're good. You were able to click on it. So let's just go ahead and now I would use my arrow keys, right? Because the arrow key is going to give you that nice incremental, smaller movement than using the mouse to start with. And then I'm going to I would say bring that down, right? Click on the back end of the circle and you should be able to grab it. Hmm. Good job. Good job.
So this is the part that I kind of remembered, but there was still steps in between that I was forgetting.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of those things again. It just, when you practice, 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 right? Because remember, like I said, you're going to do the same steps over and over and over and over and over again for every design that you work on. So eventually it's going to start clicking and making more sense to you what you need to do.
Babe, I'm gonna have to call you right back, all right?
Okay. CAC on up there?
No, I haven't gone up there yet.
Yeah, we need to get that stuff on too.
Oh, okay, no problem. Love you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna move. Let's go ahead and move. Now that one, I would try to grab that top part of the right, and then move that one over to the left a little, and then move that one. Now that one might be a little bit more difficult because it's actually like right on the thing, but you got it. There you go.
Let's see where I can squeeze this one that was hanging out. I'll give these some room.
Let's see. No,
I don't know.
That one, that one I probably would leave. I might move the one next to it because there's and you might have to start. You might have to go from the top and then move the ones at the top in the curve. Start at the top again and move that one in a little bit to give you a little bit more room. Not there in the curve, like move that one over to the left and then start moving some of those other ones, a little further in so that to create a little bit more space. That's too much. That probably is okay. And then probably just move those other ones up like one or two little spaces to give enough room to get that other stone to fit in. And yeah. And then yeah, just give that one a little bit of space. Move that over. Yep. There you go. That's it. That's about it. That's all.
Now they all have good space in between them.
I think so. So for now, like I said, you can let's move it out of the way for the moment and just look at it from and just give it an eye view. That looks pretty good. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
Looks pretty
Yep,
good.
yep, yep. So we know we don't have to do the E, right? Because we already have the other E. So let's go ahead and copy paste the first E first. And wait a minute, something I'm looking, wait a minute, before we do that, I'm looking at that E and somehow we didn't get the alignment on that back row. See that back row, how the stones are kind of, not the back row, excuse me, that inside. See how they're not quite lined up? So let's go ahead and ungroup all of that and get that lined up first. So just click on it. And then go ahead and ungroup.
I keep forgetting. I could just hit the right can.
Mm-hmm. And now in this instance, you can go ahead and click the center. And then I want you to squish them over just a little bit to the right. Yeah. Okay. Just trying to not make that space look so big. All right. So now we can go ahead and group them all back together again.
Not right now, baby cakes.
And then let's go ahead and duplicate that. And let's drag it over there to the other end. No, no, not that one. Click there. Now drag. Yeah. So we're going to drag it over to the right.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Now let's give it a color for a minute. And it doesn't matter what color you give it. Just want to we'll give it a lighter color so that when you think yellow is good. Just so that when you go and you line it up, over those so that you're putting it in the right place, you can still see the ones behind it. Probably going to be hard to see it, but let's go ahead and just line that up. Uh-huh. Now leave it just a little slightly off, right? Just leave it a little slightly off so that you can grab that one behind it and delete it. See, the yellow is selected. See over in the corner at your home, underneath your little home, on the left-hand side of your screen, see your file and see your house, and then you see the yellow underneath it.
Yeah.
That yellow box tells you that that's what's currently selected.
All right.
Now how did we get there? Okay, go back to design, click design. Okay, so that tells you what's currently selected, right? That's why sometimes, like I said, I like to give things colors so that I know exactly which thing I'm on. So we want to get to the one behind it. So let's try again. Let's try clicking that outer edge of that outlined circle that's not yellow. Click. Just click it.
Nope.
No, come over, bring your arrow over a little and click right there. Click there. Let's see what happens.
I don't know. I'm clicking there and it's not doing anything.
Not clicking? Okay, so click on the yellow. Okay, the yellow is selected. Right click with your mouse and then say send to back. So we're going to send that behind. So now see, we sent it behind the circles. So now the circles are on top. So if you click it now, you should be able to select it. Okay. You drag a box. So just click the circle, click the outline circle. Okay, so now look in your home, underneath your little home. You see how now it's not yellow, it's just showing you the outline. So now you know you have the right thing selected. Okay, so now you can go ahead and you can click delete because we don't need it. Oh, you know what it did? I think you can select all of that. I think all of that's grouped together. Good, yeah. All right, so now we can use our little arrow key to kind of just arrow it down and arrow it over just a little bit so that we put it back into place. I think that was about right, and maybe just bring it down just a little bit. Actually, to tell you what, you know what, we're going to just align everything to the bottom when we're all said and done, so don't worry about it. So we are about 80% done. We got our S and we got our C to do, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to do just like we used for the P, right? And we're going to use our eclipse from the bottom, and we're going to use that as our template guide to help us put those stones where they need to go. So go ahead and, yep, line it back up again. And that should be pretty good. Now we want to make sure to send it to the back. So let's right click and say send to back. So that way our stones are on top. So deselect. And let's click on the outer edge just to be on the safe side, just to make sure that you're not clicking the yellow area. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to release those rhinestones. And we're going to start our manual adjustments. Okay, now I might not try to get that interior one that's in there. You know, I might not try to fit that stone. I think it's going to be a little bit too tight because we need to make enough spacing for the ones that we currently have. So, you know, you can go ahead and probably delete that one. And then we're going to probably delete that one down there at the bottom. That's not there, but on the ends, that's kind of like on the inside, further up. Yeah, that one. I don't think we need that one. Oh, that's probably the second set of the stones that need to be released.
I thought I selected everything and released everything.
Well, we couldn't, mm, no, oh, there it is. Okay. Look at that. Okay.
That one.
All right. So let's go ahead and start, you want to start at the bottom or you want to finish at the top?
Oh, I already started at the top, so I might as well do the top.
Yeah. So that and looking at it now, go ahead and zoom in on this one because we're using this template as a guide and it makes it a little bit harder to see. So zoom in really good so that you can see where your stone spacing is as you make those adjustments. Because that one the very first one that we did is too close to the other one. Hmm. I think that one before you get too far, I think that third one on the right, I think that one is still just a little bit too close to the one next to it on the right. So let's just bring that one over to the left a little.
The one that my cursor's on,
Yes,
and you said bring it to the right
bring
or
it to
to
the
the left?
left. Okay. And then I think that one is good. But if we want to kind of not have to mess with the, spacing that we currently have by too much, I probably would just move the one, to the left a little.
Good.
Yeah, okay. Now we can keep, and I might move that one up just a little bit, just so that that one that we're gonna get to that's kind of sticking out a little bit, we have enough room to get him in there. So that looks good. Mhm. Now, while you make those adjustments, I'm gonna run to the ladies' room right quick. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, I feel confident what I'm doing now.
I feel confident too. Don't make a liar out of me by the time I come back. See, let's see. All right, all right. You didn't get very far. Oh, but that looks good. That looks good. So scroll down so you can see what okay. Yeah. Mhm. And it'll be okay for that back one to be off on the edge of the tail a little bit. It should be fine. So I want to when bring that in and over. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Now I think that one, does that one need to kind of be more in alignment with that back row, that back stone? Maybe bring it up just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, they have them aligned.
They have them aligned.
With
Okay, so that
the desk.
looks better. Okay. All right. So now we can either start from the bottom since that's where we already are and work our way to the top, or start from the top and work our way to the bottom. Which way you want to go?
We're already at the bottom. Why make more work for ourselves?
Okay, well, I just want let me just see from the top real quick. I just want to kind of give it a visual to see. Mm, okay. I think we'll be okay either way.
Hold a minute. Got to plug up.
Okay.
When my screen dimmed because I looked at the battery, I was like, oh,
Ah,
I'm
yeah.
using a laptop. My desktop is upstairs and my machine and everything is down here. So
Gotcha. Gotcha. I don't know. Like I said, they tell you, you can leave your stuff plugged in, but I just brought this brand new laptop and I think I truly believe leaving it plugged in all the time drains the battery faster than when you need to use it, when you don't have power supply. So, but I guess I'm stuck now. So
since we're up here, we might as well just do the top.
might as well. So you can bring that one over to the right and then, do we need to bring that first one down to
Yes.
match? Or either what we can do is kind of, we have a lot of space. We have well, I don't want to say a lot of space, but we have sufficient space in that very bottom one. We might could just bring that one up a little bit. Yeah, that works. That's good. So now at this go round, would you say that you're feeling a lot more confident than you did before?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what it
Okay.
was? It was late at
It
night.
was, yeah.
My brain was taking it in, but then I was like, oh, let me not work on this anymore. Let me go to sleep and I'll finish the rest of it. So then I got up and I cut it and I was like, oh, this is
Oh,
right.
I know that is the worst thing when you get so, you get so excited, you finish something, you go to cut it and it just did not cut out right. It's just like so deflating.
I mean, I will be testing this, even though you said that's for like more like jewelry box.
But you can, exactly, it works perfectly for testing purposes and you're not wasting any of this good flock that I'm going to put in the mail to you today. And I have some, I think I may have a few scrap pieces of some flock that I throw in your box just so that you have something to test on before you start actually cutting, on your good stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's get this one in place and then we can figure that out. I like the whole thing of using the keys because sometimes I'll grab something and try to move it and then it moves too fast.
Yeah, I like I said, I depending on what, like if I'm picking up a graphic and I'm moving it out of the way, yeah, I'll pick up and use my mouse and click and drag. But when I get to start placing some stones, in these little in doing this manual editing like this, yeah, I like to use the arrow keys. And sometimes if I got to make big movements or whatever, I'll hold the arrow key a little bit. But as you know, sometimes when you hold it for too long, it can move
Like
it
that.
really, yeah. So it's a kind of hit or miss, but I toggle between the two, using my mouse and using my arrow keys.
I always like to try to go in the middle and have to remember, oh, nope, grab it from the end.
Especially when you're doing it this way, right? And then I would arrow that one over just a little bit, just because there's a lot of space in between the one next to it. But yeah, especially Jessica, if you're working with a template behind your holes, right? Because you can't lock one into place, it just kind of helps to figure out which one you need to be selected on. And I always, like I said, try to remember, if I'm doing that, remember to send the template part to the back, so that hopefully when I'm working on the stones up front, I can click on those and I'm not, getting all mixed around of which one I should be clicking. But it takes practice. It just, like I said, and even after if have practice, it still don't always work like you want it to. I get frustrated on plenty of occasions working on stuff.
Oh, but you saw I was still continuing trying to get it myself. I didn't care
And
if I had to look it up. That's why I sent you what I looked up and everything. So
I did, and actually, like I said, those instructions weren't horrible. Um, so yeah, that was pretty good. Like I said, AI is learning, and it knows a lot to kind of help you troubleshoot through some things. I mean, I've even used AI to help me troubleshoot vacuum issues on my CAMS machine. So it can be very helpful sometimes, but you can't, sometimes it doesn't always give you the right information because its interface could be out of date and all kinds of stuff. But I mean, it's a good start. Like when you just don't know and you can't figure it out, AI is always great to use to kind of see if it can help you kind of work through that where you are. All right, that looks good. So let's go ahead and zoom out so we can kind of look at it and move the template out of the way. Make sure that S looks like we want it. It looks good. I mean, I don't even have to move it out of the way and I can see that it looks good.
yeah. So now we just got to work on that C and then
And then we will be done. Other than I would show you how you, like I said, make sure to show you again how you save it and so that you can import it into Cricut correctly.
should we
So,
just leave the template there? That way I can move the C's or I mean the stones around in the C or no?
well, I would just the C is probably in two separate, the inner piece and the outer piece. So I would just go ahead and click on the inner piece. Let's just do the inner piece first because it's got less stones to move. So click on the the outer circle. Click on that outer one. It's just going to be on the inside part of the circle. Click there. Yeah, click that one. And let's go ahead and release those rhinestones. And let's zoom in. Now I'm looking at this and I'm trying to say what I want to do. What do I want to do?
I can deselect them, right?
Yes, you can deselect. So I'm gonna try to fit all of those in there, and if I can, even if it means I have to move the bottom one down a little bit. So let's not start on that end. Let's start on the other end, but on that interior part of the curve towards the top. So the interior curve towards the top, right? Not that stone, go to the other, to the left, and the one below that, right there. Let's start moving that stone to the left and over a little bit. Okay, now let's try to bring that other one in.
This one
Mm-hmm.
or this one?
No, that one. See those ones right there in the circle, like in the curve, they look pretty good. So I don't want to move those if I don't have to, right? Because they're already done. Now let's bring that one back over a little bit because we got to make room to get that other
Yep.
circle in there. Right. So I think that's good. And then we need to bring that one over, the one that you were just on, we need to bring it over some more still to the left. Okay, and now let's try to bring that one in. And then a little over to the right. Okay, that looks good. So now let's go ahead and do the bottom.
Oh, are we bringing this one up a little bit and
You
over?
can if you want.
Does it go up or?
Well, let's just leave it where, I mean, we can just leave it there for now until we get ready to do the top row, and then we'll line that top one up with where that one is. So now that one, I would, like I said, the one next to it, to the left, it has, we could probably move that one over just a little bit and, and then bring it up. Okay.
And move this one.
Mm-hmm. That's probably good. Let's see, move that one. Mm-hmm. And then let's move that one up into the circle on so we can stay kind of, bring it on the line. Yeah, there you go. And bring that one in. Perfect. That looks good. All right, so now we can go ahead and release that. We can release those. And I would do the same thing. I would start from the inside part and then come and then work our way back to the outside like we did, so that hopefully we don't have to move any of those in the curve already. And that's a little too, yeah, I was gonna say keep moving that one a little bit. And it might be we don't need all of those, but we'll see what happens. I bring that one up a little bit and over to the mhm. Yeah, that's probably good. Now okay. Mhm.
I don't know, we might not need all these.
We may not. Let's just it's going to be 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. We're either going to try to scooch them in a little further, or we're going to just kind of have it have that one do line up. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect, but we just want to keep everything. I think I like what you just did, which was to line that one up with the bottom of that. And then that leaves that spacing kind of, you can kind of scooch it over a little bit and get rid of that one. Or just bring that one up and just, it'll just be off the line a little bit, but it'll be lined up with the other one. You can scooch it over just a little bit, maybe a hair
To the right or to the left?
to the left. Yeah. And then scoot that one over against to the right. And a little up. And then a little bit back to the left. There we go. Maybe one more time.
To the left?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
All
looking
right.
at it, I'm like, wait a minute, the top's not down because we didn't do the top.
Nope, not yet. Not yet, but we almost there. So let's go ahead and start from the that one. There you go. You see, you got this, girlfriend. You got this.
This one. Be a pro before I know it. I'm gonna leave this one hanging over.
Just when we pull it back and look at it from outside of the template, we'll get an idea of what it looks like and decide whether you want to keep it or whether you want to just delete it and then space out the one next to it a little further. So let's just kind of let's look and see what we got.
So we're gonna zoom it out.
Mm-hmm. And then try to find somewhere where you can grab the yellow. I see probably right there in the L, that in the bottom part of the L, I would see some yellow space that we could, or you can pull it right from there if you think that that's good. Yep, pull it out. I think that looks fine. What do you think?
Oh, it looks great.
I think it looks good too. All right. So now let's just go ahead and let's go ahead and just drag a box around each of our letters. I think the E's are already done, but we can click on them and just make sure.
So we're doing them separate letters.
Right, because we're gonna go ahead and just, but you don't have to remember, like I said, just check the E. It's all, I think the E is already done. So just click on it and see a box is already around it.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and do the try to do the C, making sure we don't select any of the E or the L, and making sure that we grabbed all of the stones. So you may have to zoom in a little bit, and where it didn't pick it up, you
Yep.
can hold your shift key, or I can show you, and I'll show you another way to do it when we get to a different letter.
Okay.
So hold your shift and click the boxes that didn't get selected. Okay, and then you can group all of those together.
Okay.
Okay, do the L.
Okay. Those look like they're all there.
Mm-hmm. See, the
Wait,
L's are, they're already selected. You see the boxes around all of it. So once you see the box around all of it, you don't have to drag all the way to the bottom. So, well, those are individual. So you can group the two
the two out.
lines together to make up the I. Yeah, if you want it. All right. So see, they're already see. Stop. Let me show you. Stop dragging. Go back to the top. Go back to you're right. So when you click and drag, click and drag, like as if you were going to see, and then if you go, it's already, you don't have to go all the way to the bottom because there's a box. See, the box shows you what's selected. So you could just right click right now and do group. Right. Okay. So
He
we got
was done.
the S, I think. Yeah. Now let me show you another way to click and to group all of your stones together. Okay. If you look over there on the left-hand side of the screen where your little icons are, you see the one that's underneath your little pointer tool, kind of looks like a lasso.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And it's actually called the lasso tool. If you click on it, okay, what it'll allow you to do is come onto your screen. Okay, it's going to change, your arrow changes to a set of crosshairs, right? You're going to take like a lasso, you're going to draw a circle, trying to draw a circle around the stones that you want to select. So just click and drag, but don't release. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and just keep going, keep going. You don't have to follow the shape, just, and you see how it'll grab all of those stones for you. That way, in case you're in an area that's kind of tight, you can try to use your lasso tool to grab those stones.
Great. I'm learning a lot of stuff today.
That's what you paid for, honey. Okay, so then the next thing is, I think the E is already selected because it was grouped from the last time we did it. I think you can deselect. That way your cursor, or go back to your pointer to, there you go. And the E is already selected. Okay, so now everything is selected. Let's go ahead and drag a box around all of it. And the only thing I don't like is that S. I hate that S, just doesn't seem like it was, we should have probably, it looks like we should have sized it.
They don't, the stones for some reason. I see. Okay, I see where it is.
You see how it's kind of, so let's align it to the bottom for the moment. Let's just align all of those to the bottom.
Oh wait,
Click and drag,
click
drag
and
the
drag.
box. Yeah. And let's just go ahead and align everything to the bottom.
Vertically to the bottom.
Okay. And What I probably, let's see, and then just deselect for a minute so I can see it with, and then I probably would just at this point, I don't know that I would take the time to do the S again unless you absolutely want to. Or I
I
might would
think
just
it
put
just needs to be moved. The
up, just kind of maybe like,
this,
just
this part right here, this to be moved up just a little tad so it like lines up a little bit more because
right.
it's
Just you're
off a
saying,
little bit, just like down here, it's up here, it's off.
um, but that's
I
the
don't
way,
mind doing it.
but that's the way that it is in the S below it. What I'm saying is that the S itself is not as tall as the other letters. You see how it looks like it's shorter?
Uh-huh.
So, one thing that you could do is you could just
These
no, I wouldn't do that. You'd have to move all of it. So I probably would is it selected now? Is each one its own individual little circle? No. So let's right click, let's ungroup it. Okay. And then deselect. And what I would do is everything that's in that curve that's on the top, right? I select all of those circles. So we'll have to do them individually because there's no way to use the lasso tool to actually get those. I would select all of those stones by clicking the first one and holding the shift key until I got all of them. And then I would just inch it up. That's what I would do.
on. You said those?
Yeah, yeah, but you got to do the whole thing. You can't you can't just move the top row, the top ones. You have to move all of it has to move together. So click all of those stones in the curve. Click the whole click one, and then we're going to click every single stone in that row in
So
that
all
part of the
this?
yes, all of that.
So from that one where I am at?
No, we're going to click every stone in that curve because we need to make sure we shift it all. Because if we just shift those, then it's going to leave a gap, and we don't necessarily want to leave the gap, right? So if we move everything and we just move everything up a little bit, that should align that top with the other letters.
Okay, so the one that I clicked now, right? Or no? Or are we doing the whole S?
There you go. We're going to do the whole thing, right?
Okay, so here, hold my shift.
And I'll tell you, it starts getting a little hard to see which ones to click, right? When you do that. So if you go to the one on the top at the end and click there, and the one, well, you click the one above it, but click the one below it.
Oh,
Oh, what is it doing? Something's not right. Are you holding your shift key? Start again. Click the first one.
where? Okay, on the outside. So we're gonna click that one.
Now hold your shift key and then come and click that bottom one in that row, not that one. In the row, right? Click that one. Now go back to the top and start clicking the other ones. It makes it just a little bit easier. Uh-oh. Say no.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
so now holding your shift, making sure you hold your shift key. Let's go ahead and click all the other ones.
It's Joe Timothy Andrews.
Oh my goodness, my husband is a pain.
He's your husband, so I'm gonna let you say it.
Babe, I said I would call you when I'm done. Now I love my shift key.
And get that one in the top while you're up there. There you go. Yep. If I can get that last one. And then the one next to it. Bring your cursor down just a little bit. There you go. And click. Okay. So now just want to inch it up to the top with your mouse key, with your arrow keys. Oh, we may have to do the other one. Yeah, that's one of those things. Okay, let me see. All right, so that's gonna make us have to move the ones in the curve of the a little bit. All right, it's no big deal, but I think I like that placement better. It looks more like it's supposed to. So now what I'm gonna do is have you in the interior part of the curve, right? We're gonna grab like those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stones. So we're gonna click and hold the shift key and grab those first 6 stones. And then kind of come to the bottom. It makes it a little easier to see. So just come to the bottom right there. The next one. Go to the one, yeah, click that one. And now start clicking the other ones. Okay, so now I want you to kind of go up. One, two, oh, we missed one of those is not selected. So go back, do undo. I think you clicked twice. One more time. And then get that one right there. And there's one stone that didn't get selected. It's
All
one,
right,
two,
I
three.
can't see which one, so I'm
It's
just
the one. Go back and do undo. It's that one right there in the bottom part of the curve in the middle.
that one.
Yep. Okay, so now click up a couple of like 1 or 2 times. One.
Still holding the shift.
You can let the shift go. Up and up and over, and maybe up again, up, up, over, just a little. Okay, let me see. All right.
That looks a lot better.
It does. It's kind of off a little bit. I think the ones, zoom in so I can, because it's kind of, let's zoom in so we can see what we got going on here. We probably need to move some of our stones kind of got a little off. So right there in that curve, yeah, we're gonna bring it down. And over to the left. Like that's okay. And then let's see.
I think this one needs to be moved over just a little bit, so then this one can come down just a little bit.
Yeah, and they look a little tight to me. But it's probably just because, like I said, I can't see a little. Yeah, that's probably good. And then bring that one above it down a little. And over is
So now
so
these two.
bring your guide back up so that it'll help you to stay in that curve so that you can kind of stay on the curve a little bit. Like I said, just kind of bring it in there so that you can
So I
it
have to
may not
kind of Send it to the back.
We're just trying to get that inside piece to, like I said, we may have too many stones in there. So we may not need that one that's sticking out, on the end. We may just bring those other stones and kind of line them up and then, space that out and get rid of that stone. We may not need it. That's too close.
No.
We send that to the back. Make sure that's in the back.
Which one was I moving again?
In that lower part of the curve, those two stones are too close together. So if you're gonna come, yeah, if you're gonna come that way, let's just go ahead and move those stones up and over a little bit. And then I think you can bring that bottom one over. Okay, that's better. And then we just need to kind of fix the, right up in there. Yeah, now I wouldn't, like I said, what's off is that stone right there. Come down. Yeah, we're gonna probably bring that down a little bit, but then the stone like directly below it. And then the one right next to that one, the one next to it on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. This one?
Yeah, that one needs to kind of get pushed out to the right a little bit, kind of like raise it up and then so that it kind of makes that arc that in that curve.
So push up.
So right, push it out and up a little bit and then back over to the left. Yeah, like right there. Uh-huh. Now let's zoom back out and move the template out of the way and see what it looks like. There we go.
Looks a lot better.
Yep. Yep. But you see how keeping that helps you to line your stones up. So don't get rid of them. You know, like I said, they have a use. They definitely have a purpose. So now let's go ahead and we can give all of it a color. Let's go ahead and make it all a color and then turn the red outline off. So we can drag a box. And let's go ahead and just give it a color.
Wait, did we group that S?
We didn't, but we don't have to.
Oh, we don't have to.
Because we're gonna go ahead and we're done now. We've made all of our edits. And we're going to go ahead and turn the whole thing into a compound path. So
Okay. I'm gonna make it all yellow.
you can just give it a color right a minute.
Grabbed everything.
Um,
Were we supposed to group?
when we turn the compound path, it's going to turn it off anyway. So let's just go ahead and drag a box around everything. And we're going to right click and group everything together. Or go to the object and click group. Okay. And then we're going to right click with the mouse. Draw a box, click, select it. And remember, it's already selected. You don't have to drag a box. Right click with your mouse and make a compound path. Okay, so the only thing we forgot to do now, when this happens, if you see this happen, it's because we did not release the stones when we did the eye, because the eye was the most simplest thing. We forgot all about it. Remember, the only thing we did was make it longer. So let's just go back. You can just go to your rhinestone panel. Let's
Okay.
go to the rhinestone panel and release the rhinestones. I think we should be able to release the rhinestones. I think we should be able to do that. Yep, there it is. So now that everything is released, we can go ahead and right click, or you can go to object and do group. And then we're going to make compound path. And again, the reason we want to make it a compound path is because when we go into import this into Cricut, we want Cricut to treat this as one piece of a design, not individual circles when you send it to the cutting machine to make it. Okay. So we always want to make sure that we make it into a compound path. Now that we're all said and done, now we're looking at this and you see where it's showing us our height and width. So our width got spread out just a little bit. So we're at 7.177.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to play it safe and you want to bring it down to 7 inches, we need to kind of scooch it in a little bit. I think you probably would be okay, but I'm gonna leave it up to you because I know you already been
I
down this road
think
once.
this, I think this right here would be the safest to
You
play
think
it.
this is still safe, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So since we're happy with the 7.177 and we're happy with the 1.755, we're gonna write that down, right? We're gonna write that down so that we can name our file. I always like to put the dimensions in with the name, just so that when the person or whomever may import that over into Cricut, when they pull it up in their layers tab, the height and width are already there. But we're gonna write it down anyway.
Okay.
Okay, now let's just give it a color so that when we bring it into Cricut, it just, it's not white or what have you. I mean, you could leave the outline turned on, or you could either turn the outline off. Either depends on which way you want to do it. I usually like to give it a color just so that when it shows up in Cricut, people can see it. Because sometimes if you forget and you turn your outline off and you make your stone color white, you can't see it on that white background. So we have it, we've made it a color. That's good enough, right? You
Okay.
wrote it down, you have your height and your width.
Yep. Now, how do I take that red outline off?
So in order to take out the red outline, what you do is you want to go to your line style panel, and it is the one over there on the right-hand side of your screen underneath the paint palette.
On the right.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
That one, yes. So click on that one, and we want to click on the one that looks like a box. Okay, and we want to go, as you see under fill color, you see that box that has like the empty triangle in it?
This one.
Yes. That will turn off the outline. Okay. And I like to have the outline turned off because with the outline turned on, it also makes it look like the spacing is tighter, right? Because it's got that extra line going around the circle. But this gives me a better idea now of what the spacing is actually between each of the holes. Okay.
You know what? I think we didn't do that stuff. Or you
Mm-hmm.
might have said it and I didn't do it because I didn't
Right.
know where that was.
Okay. So now we have the item selected, right? So let's go ahead and do a file, go to file.
Do we have to remove everything else?
No, because right now, we have just what we're gonna select. So we're gonna go to file,
Okay.
and there's two options when you go under file. You see there's save as, and then there's save selection, okay? If you click save as, Save as will save everything that's on the screen. As if we were going to be saving it into an SVG, all of that would save as an SVG. And then when you brought that into Cricut, you would have both of those pieces. But since we only want the rhinestone part of it, right? If we click the one that says save selection, right? We click save selection, we're going to save it to our hard drive. Okay. Like I said, I don't like to save anything to Silhouette's library, because if their system crashes or you can't access their servers, you can't get to your designs. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and give that, you're going to save it and give it a name. So I like to give it a name. I would probably call it Eclipse, because that's the name of the graphic. And then I would put those dimensions in my file name.
I think I already have that into the file.
Right. So we can go ahead and save over the one that we did, because we know the one that we have is currently no good to us. So I think if you click and you go to save as type, if you change your type to SVG, because you already, so click the drop down arrow or click on the name, there you go, and click SVG. Oh, well, I know we saved it somewhere and you had it before. It must be in a different folder.
Yeah, let me go on to, let me not do
Was it
that.
on your desktop?
Yeah, it's on my desktop. We have it in, was it in here? No, it wasn't in there. That's the file I just made. So let's go back to,
Scroll down a minute, because I think, you know what, Rhinestone Designs or something like that, we called it, or Rhinestone. I knew it was something Rhinestone. There it is. So we had the smaller sports bra with the 8x11 tube. So let's click that one. And then let's go ahead and change your, but we want to change your dimensions. So let's change, so say no, because we can't give it the same name. So we're going to have to just, we don't want to give it the same name because our dimensions are off.
uh-huh.
So
Well,
let's just go ahead.
this smaller one, I could use for a bigger
Right.
size, like a
Exactly. You can,
medium.
exactly. So let's just go ahead and change the dimensions in the naming of this one so that you'll know which one you need to use. So instead of saying smaller sports bra W8x11 by 2, you're going to change it to the dimensions that we wrote down, which was the 7.177, I think.
Okay, so I can leave that alone and I could just change the thing in down here, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now I have to go
So
back.
you can just click right there in the name and then just back out. Just don't arrow over, so you don't have to type the whole thing all over again. Just use your arrow key and arrow over, and then go to where the 8 is. So just use your arrow key and arrow over, and then just delete everything. Just delete that. You can. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got that NX from. We got N.
Oh, I'm not. Okay, now I see. I was putting inches in there.
Oh, no, you don't need to do that. Just, you can just do the 7.177, and then I use a smaller, a small X, just so that it looks.
Yeah, I accidentally hit the caps
Ah, gotcha. Gotcha.
H 1.7.
And
Okay.
then say, and then you can say, okay. Okay. So now we can test everything by going in, uploading this design into Cricut Design Space. And while
Okay.
you go ahead and get that situated, I'm going to start rolling out your flock and your other stuff so I can get it in the mail before 4 o'clock or 4:30. 'Cause,
4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. As you see, my husband is very impatient.
Tell me again what you said.
I said, as you see, my husband is very impatient.
Oh, they all like that. They're like they're like little kids. They gotta constantly be tugging on our sleeve or our pants leg. Mama, mama, mama.
I mean, how many times did I tell him I will call you back when I'm done?
Yeah, well, in his mind, I guess he figures you should be done. You tell him, say, I paid for 2 hours. So
Okay, so now we're gonna go here. We're gonna upload.
ooh,
Okay. Gonna browse. Look at this.
okay, so you got it in Cricut. So we're gonna do upload, do open. I loving it. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. And say upload. And then we want to see, you see, it automatically is showing you your height and width dimensions. So we have 7.18, which is probably close. It rounds. Remember, I told you that Cricut will round the numbers up. So 7.18 is probably okay. And then 175, I think, is probably right as well. So we know that it came in at the right dimensions. Now, if you wanted to double check, okay, and depending on how big your rhinestone template is, it could take Cricut a long time to do this. But if you just wanted to double check and make sure that the hole size is the whole size that it's supposed to be, you can click on contour in Cricut. You see down there at the bottom where it says contour? You could click on contour and go in and hide all but one hole. Okay.
So hide all.
You got to click one, I think. Let me see. Click one click one and then hide, or maybe it's hide all and then click one of the two.
I don't know. I was having an issue with this earlier, trying to figure it out.
Okay,
Okay,
so
here we
now
go.
all of the console, see, you see how there's one left? Because there's one highlighted, right? If you click apply,
Now
right?
there's only one hole there.
Right, and you see how it's showing you your size is 0.13? So now you know that your holes are sized to the right size for an SS10 rhinestone. Because SS10 is,
I'm kind of losing you.
see where it, you see your one hole on the screen? And you see your dimensions above
Yes,
it says 0.13,
yes.
right? Your 0.13 is the dimensions for a SS10 rhinestone. So what this shows you is that your hole size is correct.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
it says 13 or
well, 0.13, it
can,
just didn't give you the number on the end, which is the 0.
can I move that over?
No, don't do anything to it. We're just
Can
checking.
I
All we're
move it
doing is
over?
just, yeah, all we're doing is just, I'm just showing you how you can check. If you say, for instance, if you buy a design from somebody else, right? And you're not certain,
Uh-huh.
but you want to check before you cut your template to make sure that the whole size is what it needs to be for your size rhinestones. This is how you can check it. Okay, you just have to
Well,
hide you.
I have bought ones that are in Cricut, like the
Mm-hmm,
letters and everything that I had purchased.
right.
If I was to throw one up, can we see how it comes up on here? Because I was
We can
having
try.
issues with that.
We can try, but let's go back and just go back to the contours,
Okay, contours.
and let's go back and say show all contours. and then say apply. And that way we just put the design back the way that it was.
Okay.
Okay. And then you would, now sometimes what I like to do is and I don't want to confuse you, but what I like to do is sometimes I like to draw a box around, and sometimes I'll do it in Silhouette Studio before I send the design over to Cricut. Either or, you can do it either way, but I like to draw a box around my design and attach that box to so that when it cuts, I get a nice clean cut. Okay. And all you do is you just go into Cricut and you draw out a shape. You go to shapes, and we're going to draw out a rectangle. And it doesn't matter whether it's the rounded edge one or whether it's the other one. And we're just going to stretch that box out around our design. So we're going to bring it out, and then we're going to, scale it in. Exactly. You can make it white. You can go to the to the color, the little box at the top. You see next to basic cut, just turn that box color, the color, turn that white. And that way you can see, and then send it to the back. So click on it and under arrange.
Oh, arrange.
So see down there at the bottom, it says arrange. Or click on the toolbar at the top. See in the middle, you have size, flip, and then you have arrange.
Yeah, I gotta move us. There we go.
Oh, I also forget that when you're sharing your screen, sometimes some things don't show up. So I apologize.
All right.
So we want to say send to back. Okay, so now you can see the design within that box that we drew. And we just want to make sure that we have enough space. Go ahead and close that out. Yeah, we want to make sure that we size that up so that it's not right on top of the flock. So we want to get that. We want to probably give it a little more edge and a little bit more on top and bottom. So drag from the middle. So scale that up just a little bit, and then just a little, and then scale that down just a little. Now that way, when you cut this, you can even scroll in a little bit on the right side. Because one, I don't like to waste any flock, right? Because flock is expensive. So we don't have to use, we only need, you can cut it, and then you might have something else that you might be able to use that other side of the flock for, right? So, but what you would do now is you want to make sure when you do this, you want to grab both the box that you just created and the eclipse, right? So you can, you have those two layers, you just click on each of them and holding your shift key. So click the first one, and then I think hold your shift and click on the second one. And you can do it right in the layers panel. So you see your layers over there on the right. Click that one. There you go. So now both of them are highlighted. Now just go ahead and group them together. Well, actually, I didn't mean to say, yeah, group is fine. I think you can do group. It's fine. I wanted to say attach, actually, is what I really wanted to do. So go back and do undo. I think they see your undo up there next to untitled project at the very top.
Wait, say that one more time.
So next to where it says untitled project, see it says undo, the little undo button next to it. Yeah.
Yep.
So do undo. And do undo again. Okay, so now in the layers panel, click both of the layers. No drag, just click. And then click the other one. Okay, so they're both selected now. See down there at the bottom where it says attach? Yeah. And don't worry about the fact that it changed the color. It does, at this point, it doesn't matter, right? So now when you send it to make it, it will cut your circles and it's going to cut your box. But this is like a weed box. In some ways, it's like a weed box. So even, back when you're cutting permanent vinyl and you get the little teeny tiny intricate pieces, they tell you to create a weed box. It helps it to weed better. Same idea.
Okay.
Okay, but it also gives you that nice clean piece when you're all said and done, when you send it to the machine to cut.
Okay.
So now if everything was hooked up, if your Cricut was hooked up, you go to make and you should see it on your
It is hooked up. It's sitting right next to me.
okay. I would I know when you cut it the last time, we were on that flock setting. Is I would probably turn the pressure down a little bit because it could say I don't understand why it I'm not quite certain why it cut the way that it did, but you know, since we're only using that for test purposes, I guess it really won't matter too bad, but
So do you want to do a test cut now, or do you
you
want?
can, you can, but I'm gonna have to let you go ahead and do the test cut because it's 2:40, and
Oh
if I
yeah,
don't
it's
get off this
2:40. We're
phone,
over our time.
I won't. Well, I'm more so concerned about just getting to the post office because I have a few orders to get out today.
Okay.
Because normally I don't rush my sessions. I mean, I know what it says on my website, but you know me, generous to a fault. So, but I want to make sure that I get your stuff out so that you can, you'll get it sooner than later, and you can start, um, either practicing or start getting those orders out. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you should go ahead and, like I said, test cut this and see if it cuts, see how it cuts. And then if we have any issues or whatever, then, we'll try to, figure out what's going on. The only thing that, like I said, could potentially be an issue might be spacing, but I mean, based on what I saw in Silhouette, I'm thinking that you should be okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. I'm more confident now.
You
See,
are?
I
Okay,
am.
that's wonderful. And you're gonna have this video when we're all said and done to have something to refer back to. So even better than just taking your notes, right? You'll have the video that you can use, and I'll also create the step-by-step workflow for you so that you'll have also a hard copy of everything that tells you what you should do.
Okay.
Okay?
Good. Oh,
All right.
one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
What you posted up in the thing, do you have a monthly option? I mean, not a monthly, a yearly option
I
for?
didn't do the yearly option just yet. I want to kind of see how, because it only gives me certain options. Either I have to charge monthly and I'd only be able to do the one price for everybody for the month, right? So there wouldn't be an option for people to say, well, I don't necessarily know I can do, the premium tier, but I like being in the lower one. But my goal is to keep it, like I said, to keep the pricing, fairly reasonable. Like I don't want this to be a burden for anybody, right? Because we're in some hard times right now, right? Like everybody
Well,
has got their own set of circumstances going on. You've got your circumstances, I got my circumstances, and it really means something to me to make sure that whatever it is that I do, there's value behind it, right? Because if you've trusted me this far, right, and now you feel like you want to, go further, then I want it to be of value, but I don't want it to be something that becomes burdensome, right? I
mhm.
want it to be something that, if you feel like you're getting the value out of it, then you can continue to do it, and it's not going to be that much different between, well, like I said, now if 3 to 4 months from now, things are going really well, and people say, hey, I think I'd much rather, just go ahead and sign up for the year. I can go back and I can explore it. But this gives you an option to be able to say, hey, I think maybe I got all I need to get out of Tanya, and I don't want to keep paying for, a month. This way you haven't paid the yearly fee and then
Well,
have
see,
paid the year
I like paying
paying up
a
front.
year up front. That way I don't have to worry about it. It's not in my head. Oh, shoot. I need to pay Tanya.
Right. You know what I do? I think maybe what I can do, I'm going to explore it because I'm still playing around with the school, trying to figure out, what all is entailed, what I have access to, what I don't have access to. And if there's not a way for me to be able to keep the two different tier levels, but people would like to be able to pay for a year, I think there might be a way for me to go into your profile, and when I click on the membership option, I might be able to give you give you access to the VIP thing, right? So I might come back and say, oh, well, if you want to pay it yearly, well, I don't know. I gotta check that out. Let me check it in.
Okay.
Let me check it out first. Cause
Check it
like
out
I
because
said,
I definitely want to be in VIP. Like I want to learn it all. If I ain't working
oh,
at my other job, you know where I'm getting my work in. It's going to be right here at home. I don't like
right.
being, you know, I don't like people bossing me around. I like to be the boss.
I got you. I understand. I do. And I so appreciate. And like I said, each time I talk to somebody about it, because I mentioned it to somebody else over the weekend, and she was like, where's the link? Sign me up. I want the whole kit and caboodle, and that really tells me two things. It tells me that one, you guys trust me, right, to be able to teach this to you, and you feel like again there's value in it. So I know that I'm walking in the right steps. So I really appreciate you saying that, and I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna see like what options are available to me because there's another option in I haven't seen anybody who's doing the tier level thing. Like everybody either has this monthly option with school, um, and they pick a price. So it might be that I would go back and I might say, you know what, maybe this is working. People like it. Maybe we'll cut it in the middle. We might say with the difference between the two and just call it a middle price and just make that. And then I think if I do it that way, you can do it monthly or you can do it yearly.
Okay.
So let's give it a month. Let's just give it till the end of the month and let's see how we do. And then I'll figure out which way I need to go. Because I might just do a poll. I'll do a poll in the group and maybe you get it started. You might go in there and say, Tanya, I really love this idea, but I want to pay for it yearly. I want to have yearly access and not have to worry about paying the month. And then I can run a poll and see how many other people think that that would be a good idea. Um, and then,
Well,
like I
I want
said,
to
figure
go
out
ahead
what
and
would
get
be
it locked
best.
in. So I'm just going to pay the $20 right now just to get in there.
Right. Yes, because you want to
So
be a
we
founding
figure,
member. Because that's going to go up. It's definitely going to go up. But I want to be able to make it I want to be able to, those that, started with me from the very beginning and believed in me. And, I want you guys to get the best benefit. So, because going forward, I have a lot of stuff that I'm thinking about. I told you guys on last Thursday, that I want to bring that are going to be in addition to what you're currently getting now. So it's definitely going to be well worth the $20 when we're all said and done. I promise you.
no. All right. Well, I enjoyed our session.
I did too. I think like I said, it went really smoothly. Like I said, if you have questions, you know how to reach me. I'm happy to be here and answer. Like I said, if you get lost or what have you before the video renders down, what's going to happen is once I do it, I can't email it to you because it's going to be too large. So I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel. And then you'll have access to it from there and you can watch it as many times as you want.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
All right, sweetie pie.
All right. Have a great
Oh,
day.
you too, sweetheart.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.